Hey, good evening. Welcome to a Beatles revival.
Right.
Wow, I'm here with my girlfriend, Mary Alice. We thought it'd be good to have a newlyweds couple up here tonight. Wow, it's so good that you're here. Welcome to Date Night with a Purpose. These are so awesome. And tonight, very, very special theme. I'll talk about it in just a moment. But Mary Alice, we got a gift giveaway first.
So if you enjoy the gift giveaway, are y'all ready for this? This is what we're gonna do tonight. Look under your seat and look for the Married Life Live sticker card. There's 4 out there, so look, and if there's an empty chair by you, feel free. Wendy said be sure and tell you don't fight over them, but you can look in the empty chairs. There should be 4, so if you find it, hold it up. And Daniel and Rachel, there's one right here.
Right back here.
Over here. 3. Is there one more? Okay, is that all 4? Did we do all 4? Okay, very good, awesome.
You know, I just thought about what I would do is next time, I just get here about 4:30 in the evening and look under all the seats, because you want to do it in the right order. You want to pick your seat first and then win.
It might not be that one next time. Wendy will have something different probably next time.
It'd be worth a try.
No cheating.
Well, tonight's theme is one that I just am especially attracted to. And I mean, this is just a core of my ministry and my preaching and teaching and just the way I want to live my life. The theme tonight is fresh start, fresh beginning, new beginning. And I think the thing I love most, I've said this probably thousands of times, what I love best about God is He'll always let you start over. And so tonight, we're gonna be talking about that. You're gonna hear an awesome talk. I got like Cliff Note version over here. And I promise you, for all of you who are married, you could not be in a better place than where you are tonight. Because tonight, you're gonna get some awesome stuff. So Mary Alice, I guess we'll get out of the way. Love you guys. Good night.
All right. Hey, let's hear it from Mark and Mary Alice. Thanks, guys. We are excited. It's going to be a great night. I don't know about you, but man, springtime makes me think of a fresh start, so we're going to have some fun here in a minute with the game. But before we get to the game, if you got here early and you got a coffee drink, you know we were playing a game out there in the hallway, so I've got the fastest times, but just for everybody in the room that participated, can we give them a round of applause? Really great job. A lot of tough competition. But coming in for 3rd place, and since these people like games, we're giving them Dave & Buster gift cards, okay? Wesley and Laney at 3501. Wesley and Laney, give them a big round of applause. Way to go. It's impressive. Now, listen, your dad didn't make it, Laney. He didn't make it in the top 3, but I expect you to take him to Dave & Buster's, okay? He'll appreciate that. 2nd place, Hannah and Gavin at 3467. That was really fast. That's so fast. 7 cups on the bottom. I can't even count to 7 in 34 seconds. All right, Alex and Jamie, 3112, people. Almost 30 seconds, almost under 30 seconds. They're in the back, but listen, it's not gonna take them very long to get down here, I know, because I've seen this guy do stack 'em cups, so he does it really quickly. One more time, give it up for those guys. Now, I thank you. If you did not play in the Stack 'em Cups, it's all right, because I got a game. In this one, you don't even have to get out of your seat. All you need is a phone. We're going to be, because it's a fresh start theme, we're doing spring-themed trivia tonight. ccg.buzz is where you want to head on your phone. If you want to play together as a couple, you can. You want to double your chances and each of you play, that's fine too. When you get to ccg.buzz, you're going to punch in that code right there in the top left of the screen, RW7T. RW7T, we've got spring-related, Easter-related, just all kinds of trivia. Spring cleaning. Anybody like to do spring cleaning? There's spring cleaning trivia. So I will tell you this, the faster you answer, the more points you get, okay? Unless you're wrong, in which case those are negative points. So you want to be fast but correct. Sarah, start our timer. We got 5 minutes going. Let's get our first question on the board here. Hopefully you're in. If you're just joining us, ccg.buzz, RW7T. What tree is famous for its spring blossoms in Washington, D.C.? Put those answers up for them, Sarah. You got cherry blossom, maple, pine, or birch? Go ahead and punch that number in. The faster you answer, the more points you get, unless you're incorrect. Let's see what the room is saying, Sarah. This room's saying cherry blossom, 95%. And 4% of people don't know about Washington, D.C. That's all right. Let's see. Yes, that is right. We got Regina is in first place. Where's Regina at? Oh, right there. She played the Stack 'Em Cups too. She's double. That's awesome. That's great. And then we got Brooke twice. I don't know if that's the same Brooke. Oh, no, it's not. One of them misspelled their name. Okay, next question. 4 minutes left of the game. Which of these is a typical spring cleaning task? Answer quickly. It's not so much about if you know it, it's how fast your thumbs can move and whether you can hit the right one. Now, hopefully, we are talking about Kansas, so I guess shoveling snow could be up there, but that's probably not what we're looking for. The room said dusting baseboards, which is impressive. 2% of you are wrapping gifts because you got birthdays in March. Cool, or you don't know where the thumb goes. Okay, Sarah, let's see how they did. Katie coming from behind at 188. Then we got Shaniqua and Kellen Ash. All right, let's get another question up there, Sarah. Got plenty of players. They want to see if they can win. Which city in Kansas is consistently ranked among the worst cities for seasonal allergies? Kansas City, Winfield, Wichita, or Lawrence? What do you think? Answer quickly. Faster you answer, more points you get if you're right. Got a lot of people that are probably sneezing saying it's Wichita. Yeah, 75% of you. The rest of you don't have allergies. Well, God bless you. That's a spiritual gift, I think. Okay, all right, let's see what it's Wichita. Like the worst in the nation, I think, right? Listen, we're number one in something. That's what matters. Okay, all right. Katie Hell sneezed her way up to the front. Kellen Ash, and then Shaniqua. All right, Sarah, we got 2.5 minutes. Let's get some more questions. What flower is most associated with Easter? Punch it in quick. Hopefully you get it right. Daisy, lily, tulip, or rose? Could be a rose. Jesus, a rose. That makes sense. You know, I get it. I can see that. 2:12. Let's see. Most of you are saying lily. Yep, Easter lily, of course. No one said rose. That's surprising. All right, Sarah, that's the correct one. Man, where's Katie at? You're just killing it. Oh, right here. Second row. You're doing great, Katie. Way to go. All right, next question. Under 2 minutes. Here you go. This is a good one. See if anybody was paying attention in science class. What is the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere? That's where we live, called. Okay, go ahead and punch in your answer. Katie, how'd you do in science class? You do okay? She shrugged her shoulders and looked to her husband, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, spring equinox, blooming day. Yep, spring equinox, that is correct. You guys are smart, and Katie Hale does pay attention in science class. Way to go, Katie. That's awesome. Who's in second? Pat M. coming from behind, 447. Shaniqua's still in third place. You're doing great. Where's Shaniqua at? Where's that girl? Somewhere, oh, right here. All right, here we go. All right, next one. Next question, 1 minute, 11 seconds. Which tool is most useful for cleaning blinds? Go ahead and punch in the answer. I will tell you, we played this in practice, and Wendy disagreed with our answer. So if you're Wendy, don't answer this question. You'll get it wrong. Or if you think like Wendy, I don't know. All right, according to, duster, but actually for Wendy, it's the sponge, people. Let's see, duster, we said duster, sorry. But listen, if you're using a sponge, take solace in the fact that you actually have clean blinds, okay? All right, we got time for one last question. Let's see it, Sarah. Atlanta, Georgia shatters 35-year-old pollen record count with what number? This is something I don't even really want to know, but we're going to find out. 14,000, 16,000, 11,000, or 9,000. If you know this answer, it still feels a little unsensitive, but we're going to give you a flower. So that's the prize for the top one. 16,000 is 58%. That's got the majority of the room. Let's see if it's correct. No, 14,000. Adam coming from behind. Where's Adam at? Where's Adam? Give it up for Adam, everybody, right here. Adam, congratulations. Adam, you look like a guy that would enjoy a flower and also a bag of candy. All right, I got you both. So that's awesome. Who do we got? Jordan E. Where's Jordan E. at? And Amanda. Jordan E. and Amanda. Oh, by 1 point. Man, made it into third. Yeah, come on down here, people. I can't throw this flower that far. It would be bad if I did. Oh, Wendy's on it. Wendy's coming and running it to you. And then we got Amanda. Jordan and Amanda. Are you Jordan or Amanda? Oh, right here. Oh, right over here. Hi. Are you Jordan or Amanda? It doesn't matter. The price is the same. I was just curious. All right. Good job. Give it up for these guys. That was fun. There you go. Now you know something more about spring, whether you wanted to or not. But we are talking about a fresh start today, talking about how we can have a fresh start, how we can have a brighter day. Let's hit it.
Well, just like Mr. Jesse said, if you've been married long enough, you're gonna experience some cloudy days and some stormy weather. But if you stick with Jesus, it's only a matter of time before you experience a brighter day. So I wanna invite y'all to stand on up as we sing this song. I think some of y'all know it, and if you don't, it's got a cool groove to it. So I want y'all to jam along and sing with us. Say, when I close my eyes.
When I close my eyes, think of you and reminisce on all the things you do.
I can't imagine.
Can't imagine my life without you. It's like paradise now, I know that it's real. It's a mystery. But something you can feel up just for me. What you did on Calvary makes me wanna love you more.
Say, I never knew.
I never knew I could be so happy.
Say, I never knew.
I'd be so secure.
But Jesus, it's because of your love.
Because of your love, life has brand new meaning.
Look at your neighbor, it's gonna be a brighter day.
Brighter day, brighter day.
Never thought that
Never thought that I would smile again.
I never thought.
Never thought the dark clouds would end. I never thought that I could have a friend that would keep me, never leave me alone.
But Jesus,
Jesus, you're my everything.
the only one.
The only one that makes my heart sing.
What you need?
Now I know what real means. It's everlasting.
Say, I never knew. Hey,
I could be so happy.
say, I never knew.
I'd be so secure.
But Jesus, it's because of your love. Hey,
Life has brand new meaning.
touch your neighbor and say, it's gonna be a brighter day.
It'll be a brighter day, brighter day.
something brighter. You can grab a seat. We're going to have lots of fun. Here's the deal. Hopefully you realize that here at New Spring, we really want you to have a date night with a purpose, but that means we want you to have some fun. And here's the good news is we're going to play another game. It's a game show sweeping the nation. I really think it's going to catch on after tonight. It's called The Price is Correct, where you have to guess prices. You got to get close without going over. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a hit. But here's the deal. I'm looking for two couples that want to play. Regardless if you win or lose, you either get a Freddy's gift card, okay? So that's another date right there. At least it is with us. With Sarah and I have 4 kids, so anywhere without 4 kids is a date. And then, listen, the winner is going to get a Bolero gift card and a restaurant gift card. So I need 2 couples that want to play. Let's try to find a couple from over here. Right there. I saw that hand, sir. Yep. I don't know if she put it up or you put it up, but come on up. Yeah. Bring them both up. Yep. Give them a big round of applause. They're going to be playing for everybody on this side of the room. They're going to cheer you on. Let's get somebody from over here. Right there. I see that hand. Yes, with the sunglasses on top. Yep, that's perfect. Give them a big round of applause as they come up here. Like I said, we got some gift cards we're giving away. Now, here we go. What's your name? Emily. This doesn't actually do anything. It just makes me look like Bob Barker. That's why I brought it out. We got Emily, and what's your name? Adam. Emily and Adam. Now, Emily and Adam, here's the deal. I'm going to put these gift cards right here. You guys are going to be the red team, okay? So if you want to come back over here, I'm going to give you this. All right, the red team, you guys are playing for this side. Let's hear it for the red team, everybody. All right. You guys are going to hold this. Who do we have? What's your name? Cliff and doesn't do anything, Gina. Okay, you weren't paying attention. This is the blue team. They're playing for everybody over here. All right, now come on over here, Cliff and Gina. Don't be shy. This is the way the game works. It is Price is Correct, okay? But I don't know if you've heard of the Daytona, okay? It's a racing thing. Anyways, the point is it's a spring sport. So because we've got the Fresh Start spring cleaning theme here, it also because it's spring, you can go outside. You can go on a walk. You don't need the treadmill anymore. So we're using the treadmill for our Tread-tona, everyone. We've got 5 red cars over there and 5 blue cars. In just a second, we're going to turn them on. We're going to see which team wins, okay? I kind of got you guys backwards. You come over here, right? Weren't you on this side? Yeah, all right, yeah. This is the blue team. Let's hear it for the blue team. And this is the red team. Let's hear it for the red team. Now, in just a minute, we'll turn the treadmill on. We'll have a race. We'll see who wins. But here's where the Price is Correct comes in, okay? We're gonna have you guys bid on spring cleaning supplies, okay? The closest this Cliff is a Cliff, right? Is it Cliff? You're a smart guy, Cliff. Yeah, I'm gonna give you this. Listen, yesterday we played with the worship team for practice, and we just had a lady playing against a guy. You want to take a guess who won? Yeah, it was the ladies demolished them. So I'm glad you got her up here. Now, here's the deal. We're going to have you bid on these items. The Price is Correct. Just like Price is Correct, you guys can shout out the prices if you think you know them, but it's whatever you write down here. Closest without going over wins. Not only will you win that item, but you'll also win a chance to put 2 more cars of your color on the treadmill. You see how that works? Okay. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily you win, but it does give you a higher probability of winning. Okay, so here we go. Let's get to our first item, everybody. Right now, we have a lovely, do we have the lighting? Thank you. Yes, we have a lovely Febreze fabric air freshener equipped with spray top. Cliff, go ahead. Thank you. Yes, I thank you. That's actually one of our stage hands behind using a Lazy Susan. He's just spinning it slowly for you. Appreciate that. Go ahead and punch in your number. Thank you. You got your number punched in over there. Closest without going over now. Let's see what the red team said over here. Go ahead and turn that around. He said $7. What's your name again? Adam. Adam values a fresh smelling house, okay? He's willing to spend the money. This is spring renewal up here, okay? You can't just get this sent off the street for $1. $7, please. It's $1 for every day of the week. All right, over here, go ahead and show the camera. Don't show me. Oh, I'm sorry. I walked in front of the spring cleaning. Yep, that's a lovely item, isn't it? Okay, $4.99 is what Cliff is saying. Close. Oh, you got some applause there. Wow. Somebody's really excited about air freshener. Let's see what the item is. $5.48. Congratulations, Cliff. Cliff, Listen, if all else fails, you're walking home with some air freshener today. Give it up for Cliff. He's excited. Now, Adam, I've got something right up your alley, okay? The next item on the Price is Correct is this microfiber wash mitt, okay? Perfect for cleaning the car. We don't just have to clean the house, we gotta clean the car. Look at how those microfibers sparkle in the sunlight. That's amazing. Your car could do the same thing. The question is, what's the price for a microfiber wash mitt? Cliff, you put it on your hand. You don't actually have to hold it. You just slip your hand on and you can clean anything. It's amazing. All right, we'll start with you since we started over there. I said the thing about the glove and Cliff turned. Does that mean it's more expensive? There's two sides. It's got to go over a hand. Go ahead and show the camera. $8.99 is what Cliff is saying. $8.99. Adam, show us what you're thinking over there. $10.50. All right, somebody doesn't shop at Walmart. Closest without going over, Adam. Mr. Target, big spender. Okay. Big money over here. All right, how much is the wash mitt? $5.97. What did you say? $8.99. You both went over, so we're gonna give it to you, okay? Good job. I'm gonna give you this microfiber wash mitt. This is a bookend, okay? All right, good job. Give it up for them. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be right up Adam's. This will be, he threw his wife under the bus pretty quickly. What was your name again? Emily. Okay, Emily's the Target shopper. Okay, all right. This Adam, I know we have the Scrub Daddy, ladies and gentlemen. It's got an ergonomic handle according to the package. Poke your holes through the eyes, that's what it actually says. I'm not making this up. Scratch-free, deep cleaning. It has a versatile smile. You can use a smile to wash a spoon, is what it says. I'm not making it up, Cliff. That's really what you can do with it. Don't show me, show her. Why are you showing me? I'm not gonna tell you if it's right. Okay, are you ready? Well, Adam will, hold on, Cliff, okay. Whew, I was really proud of Cliff when we first started because he turned to his wife. Just now he said, well, what, she cleans? That's what he said. That's why this microphone doesn't work. And so you don't catch that stuff, but then I just said it. Sorry, Cliff. Okay, all right, Adam, we're gonna start with you. Let's see how you're looking over there. What are you saying? $3.99, we're gonna go low. $1, turn it around there. $5, let's see what it is, ladies and gentlemen. $3.88. Way to go, right? You said $5. Over here, look, hey, if nothing else, you can wash some dishes when you get home. That's a get. It's a Scrub Daddy. Emily says, I already did it. There is a Scrub Mommy too. They come together. Okay, all right, reminds me of spring. Here we go. We got our fourth item. Only 2 more items left, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth item, genuine plastic. I think it's made in China, so it's probably more expensive now. All right. Let's see what we got. We'll start over here with Cliff. What do you think? $2.99. Doesn't value watering his plants at all. Over there, what do you got? We're saying the $7.99. I couldn't tell. All right, $7.99. Actual retail price as of Thursday was $4.97. So way to go. You guys went over, right? Hey, look at this. You guys, you just don't even know what to do with all these prizes. Look at you. What a date night. Coming and getting a bunch of cleaning supplies. This has been great. Cliff says she's gonna go home and do the cleaning. Okay, all right. Our last item, gentlemen, this is great for the Kansas dust. We have none other than the Tornado Mop, brought to you by Libman. It's great. You can play limbo with it. There it is, okay. All right, a lot of great stuff. You can also clean with it, Cliff. That's what you're supposed to do. You spin it and it acts like a tornado. All right, let's start over here with Adam. Let's get you a second price here. Emily's writing it down. $11.99, right under the $12. Over here, closest without going over, $7.99. The Tornado Mop can be bought for a retail price of $11.34. You guys went over by 60 cents. So it does go to them. I'm really sorry. And unless, now here's the deal. Cliff, we're gonna give you that. There you go. Unless you'd like them to have the Tornado Mop. Nope, gives it to his wife right away. Okay, perfect. All right, well, come on over here. Listen, it's anybody's game. That's just been the pregame. We've got the big prizes here. Somebody's going to Freddy's tonight. Let's find out who it is. Now, here's the deal. As I said, for every item, you can add 2 cars. You're gonna be adding the red cars. Let's hear it for the red team. Over there, you guys are gonna be adding 2 cars for all items. That's 4, or you got 4 items, that's 8 cars. Okay, Cliff, can you do that math quick in your head? All right, he's got it. All right, go ahead and pick your cars. Go ahead and put them on the treadmill for me. And I will tell you, this is the closest we're gonna get to giving out a brand new car. But if you win, I'll let you pick out one of those Hot Wheels, boys, okay? You can take one of those home. Now, here's the deal. We've got our lovely camera operator here. Thanks for being up here, Darren. Darren's gonna get you guys a close-up shot of this in just a second, but it does help if you cheer your team on. Let's hear it for the red team and the blue team. Now, I'm gonna put down my fake microphone because it doesn't do anything, but every once in a while in Treadtona, the cars do get stalled out a little bit, so luckily we got some Kansas wind to help impartially motivate them. All right, are you guys ready? Let's hear it for our cars. We're gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1, and they're off, ladies and gentlemen. There goes several blue cars. Oh no, there's some more red cars. We got four blue, 4 red. Let's hear it for the teams, everybody. Let's add some Kansas win in here. Kansas win in here. Kansas win in here. Kansas win in here. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no, it's anybody's game. The red team by 3. Give it up for the red team. Way to go. That was you guys, right? You're the red team. Look at that. You didn't end up with any items, but you ended up with the gift card. That's the Price is Correct for you. It's anybody's game. Oh, you got the Scrub Daddy, and you got a date night. Let's give it up for the red team, everybody. Big round of applause. Cliff, I almost feel bad, man. I really wanted you to win. I was rooting for you, but the wind is impartial. And hey, you still get to go to Freddy's, right? Clean house. And a clean house is what he says. All right, Cliff, I'm gonna let you go now while you're ahead, all right? Give Cliff a big round of applause. And a clean house. Yep. Because Cliff is gonna clean. That's what he told me as he was walking off stage. I know you guys didn't hear it, but I'm gonna say he said it. That's all the time we have on The Price is Correct. Thanks for playing. One more time, give it up for these guys. Jonathan and Wendy will be out in just a moment.
Well, hello, everybody.
Yeah, we're so glad to see you. And hasn't it been fun so far already? Man, every time I hear those horn parts on Brighter Day, I think, man, what an amazingly skilled team we have.
Yes.
Hey, I want to take a minute and talk about something. I know we're getting ready to do a talk on Fresh Start, but before that, I want to tell you something about the marriage retreat that's coming up. It's coming up in July. It's going to be in Kansas City, and it's kind of like Married Life Live all weekend long. And because we have more games and music and all kinds of stuff going on, it's fantastic. But in any case, what I want to let you know is we actually have an opportunity that's opened up. We were booked for the entire retreat. We were completely sold out. We have had a few cancellations, so we do have a couple of spots open for the main retreat, which you can go to newspring.org/marriage retreat and book one of those spots. But there's also one other opportunity that's opened up. We've opened up kind of a encore retreat, if you want to call it that, where we're doing the same retreat over. And so instead of starting on Friday night, it starts on Sunday night. Same week, same weekend, but it starts on Sunday night. So we have Sunday evening sessions just like we would normally have on Friday, and then it's all day Monday like it would normally be all day Saturday.
Yes.
There's 14 spots.
There's about 14 spots,
available
open.
for that.
It's a much smaller retreat.
It is smaller.
So it's all you have time to be, really get to know one another
And again, just if you're considering going to either of those retreats, I want to tell you this may be a one-off chance because we have our dear friends Shanti Feldhahn and Jeff Feldhahn are going to be there. Shanti and Jeff are both Harvard trained. Like Shanti has a Harvard education in research and Jeff is a Harvard trained lawyer. But they have been best-selling authors over the last few decades writing on marital issues from a research standpoint. Shanti has done research all over the country. And man, what an encouraging speaker set they are. If you've ever heard, for instance, I'll just give you this as a teaser. If you've ever heard people say the divorce rate is 50%, Shanti's researched it and it's not. It's actually a lot
Lower.
better than that. And Shanti's that'll be one of the many things they talk about from their research. So if you've been on the fence about it and you heard it was sold out and there's no opportunity.
And maybe you can't do a weekend. Maybe your job is such that you have to be there on the weekend. Maybe this would work for you. Or you have kids doing sports on the weekend and you can't miss that on Saturday. This would be a chance for you. So newspring.org/encore will give you all the information. And if you have any questions, you can always email me.
Absolutely. All right. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about Fresh Starts. And actually, that's been a big part of what our ministry has been, is trying to help couples find fresh starts.
Yeah.
And just as a way of kind of getting into this, let me ask this question. How many golfers do I have in the room?
You can raise your hand. It's okay. He's not going to like bring you up here or anything.
Yeah.
A few. Okay. Yeah.
I wish I was one of you. I really, really wish I was one of you. I grew up with my dad liking golf, and other people that I respected like golf. I would always get asked to play golf. I just never got into it. But one thing I do remember, we used to have something called Missions Conference. It would happen every year. We'd have missionaries come in and present their ministries, and we used to do a golf day. Like during the day,
Yeah.
we would take the missionaries out. We would play golf. It was kind of like a little miniature
It was a
tournament
guy
kind of
thing. They didn't let the ladies go. So if you're a lady and you like to play golf, I'm sorry, you didn't get to go back then.
Yeah, I actually never thought of that until you just said it. But anyway, but I remember being in a foursome there, we were playing, and I just hit a terrible shot, very common for me, and they introduced me to the idea of the mulligan. Have you ever heard of this, right? You can take a mulligan and do it over. Like you can do the whole thing over. I loved that concept. I took mulligans on every hole. Like, I shot an 87 that day.
You were a teenager.
But I mean, that was my best golf score ever, right? I mean, I love mulligans, and in life, I've been like, man, there are a lot of times when I need to take a mulligan, sometimes even in marriage.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I remember back, we've been married almost 20, is this
22
our
years.
22nd
This will be
year?
22 years.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Was that wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I'll tell you afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's nothing.
Now everybody's going to be wondering, what are you going to tell them afterwards?
So I was
you
just
know?
going to say, like, normally, like, even a long time ago, you know how people are like, because you're the feeler and the thinker and the, like, you want to know all the things, and I'm like the fix-it, we're the opposite, you know, of like, this was
I
not
do know
planned,
that.
y'all. Stereotypical
I do know
stuff.
that.
And so I was thinking, I was up here, usually it's the guy not knowing how long they've been married, and it was me. Anyways, I digress. Okay, so.
You have a lot of things on your mind. You're up here talking to people.
I do have a lot of things
yeah.
on my mind, but that's
Yeah.
okay. So anyways, like back when we were married.
Yes.
And in the beginning, a lot of you know, if you've read a book or you've been here before, you've been to a retreat or something like that, you know, our marriage was not great at all. I mean, not even good. We had a lot of issues that we needed to deal with. And there would have been so many, like, if we could have really like had a mulligan and like have it work, like
Right.
that would have been so cool back then. Yeah.
And honestly, that was the biggest plot twist in our marital story was, I would say around 2006 or so. We did that. We're like, all right, we've got to turn the page. We've got to start a new chapter. Things have got to be different than they were before. We've got to do this differently. And honestly, the result of where our marriage is today is kind of the result of a fresh start that happened years ago. And it became something that we really valued, this idea of being able to have a fresh start in marriage.
Yeah, but that idea of a fresh start, like, it has been bigger for us than just that season, you know, almost 20 years ago. Because, I mean, here's what we've learned. And you guys know this too, if you think about it. You probably realize this. A good marriage is literally a series of fresh starts, right? It's not just fresh starting once a year, it's fresh starts every day, right? Because guess what? Your spouse is imperfect.
Yeah, they're going to be imperfect every day.
Yeah.
Right. Every day your spouse
And
is going to
you're
be imperfect.
imperfect.
And you're going to be imperfect every day. So there's a sense in which we have to be willing to offer fresh starts on a daily basis. And really what we're doing when we do this is we're just modeling what God does for us. There's a favorite verse of many of ours in Lamentations, chapter 3. The Bible says, the faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. So what is the scripture saying? Every day we get a fresh start with God, which is really, really important.
Yeah, he wants that intimate relationship with us. So in our daily imperfection, he provides daily mercy. And that's really the template for a good marriage, right? I mean, if we want true intimacy with our spouse, then God is calling us to meet their daily imperfection with daily mercy.
And that's been a very helpful concept for our marriage. It's brought peace to our marriage. And I think it allows us, you just mentioned the word intimacy. I think if you really want to be genuinely close, this is something you gotta get. There are some things where it's like, well, it would be helpful if you would get this. And I'm telling you, this is critical. If you want a close relationship, this is absolutely critical. And it's a big part of our marriage ministry.
Yeah, you've worked with hundreds of couples over the years, and we try to help them implement this mercy thing. And sometimes it's kind of almost like a marriage mulligan, yeah?
Yeah, not always a marriage mulligan. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but always mercy. So we want to just share a few of the things that we've learned in our years of helping couples, because that's why they come into Wendy's office or Rob's office, or back when I was doing it, they would come into my office because they wanted a fresh start. So maybe you're wondering, like, what does a person that does that think about when we're trying to help people have a fresh start? And that's what we're going to kind of share with you.
Yeah, so the first big idea that we have is that mercy is always, always the right thing to do. A mulligan isn't always the right call, but mercy is always the right call.
Yeah, we're going to encourage you tonight to offer fresh starts in your relationship. And most of us have a lot of areas where we can make that happen, where a mulligan can happen, a do-over can happen. But we also know, because we've been doing this for a long time, that there's always going to be, hopefully not tonight, but it's almost like there's always somebody in the room who wants to use a talk like what Wendy and I are doing as a way of kind of like manipulating their spouse to say, even though I've harmed you, even though I've wounded you, Jonathan and Wendy said, you have to give me a fresh start, we have to turn the page. And so we want to be very clear with you about the difference between offering mercy in your relationship and a mulligan, offering a do-over. Those are two different things.
Yeah, when we talk about mercy, what we're talking about is a combination of three things: forgiveness, kindness, and compassion. If you don't hear anything else we say tonight, forgiveness, kindness, and compassion. That's what you need to be offering to your spouse.
Yeah, and the reason why we can always offer that is I can forgive someone. We'll talk about why this is in a minute, but I can forgive someone, I can be kind to them, and I can show compassion to them without risking again. And there's a big difference, right? When I offer a mulligan to someone, I offer a do-over, I'm risking with them again. But actually, what God's mercies are is he's forgiven us for what we've done wrong, and he's showing us kindness and compassion. We can always do that. Regardless of the situation, those are things that we can always do. And just so we know, Jesus didn't gently suggest that we forgive. And by the way, there's no one you will need to forgive more in your life than your spouse. There's no one where you will have as many daily opportunities to forgive as your spouse. And Jesus didn't just gently prod us to forgive. He instructed us, he commanded us to forgive, and he told us it's a big deal.
Absolutely. Matthew 6:12 says, and forgive our sins as we have forgiven those who sin against us.
That's in the Lord's Prayer. He's literally saying, here's these parallel tracks.
Yeah.
As God is forgiving me, I'm supposed to be forgiving others.
Absolutely. And the parallel continues because it says, if you forgive those who sin against you, your heavenly Father will forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive others, your Father will not forgive your sins.
Yeah, so what does it mean to forgive someone? Because I just said it earlier, it's not the same thing as a do-over. Forgiveness and a do-over are two different things. And part of the reason why we're confused about this is our culture has kind of given us some confusing messages like forgive and forget, right? How many times have we heard that? Let me tell you, not only is forgive and forget not a biblical idea, it's just not a common sense idea. So let's say that I'm walking out in the parking lot after the event this evening and you run me over with your car. Please don't do that. Let's not do that as an object lesson. But for a moment, we'll imagine this, right? You run me over with your car. And there I am at Wesley Hospital, tubes running in and out of me, and the doctors and medical professionals all over the place. And you come in and you're like, Jonathan, I'm so sorry I ran you over with my car. I feel so terrible. Can you ever forgive me? At that moment, I'm going to forgive you. Yeah, it's okay. I get it. But then if you're like, okay, just so you know, I want to be your chauffeur from now on. Like any place you need to go, like I'm going to take you there. You're just going to hop in my car. I'm going to be like, I really don't want to be anywhere around you with the car right now. Right? And that's wisdom, right? Yeah. I can forgive somebody, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to risk with them again, because the biblical idea of forgiveness is not reopening and re-risking. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, the biblical idea of forgiveness is the idea of just tearing up the bill. You know, like if you go to a restaurant and you've eaten a really nice meal, you've had lobster and steak and shrimp and all the good things, you know, dessert and coffee and all that stuff, and the
That's
waitress,
a big meal.
I might be hungry. I don't know. And the waitress brings you the bill, and they're getting ready to hand it to you for you to pay because, you know, you owe, I don't know, $130 or something. If that waitress tears it up and says, oh, you don't owe this anymore, that's the biblical idea. It's debt forgiveness, really. It's when I forgive someone, if I forgive you, it means you're not in debt to me anymore. You don't have to pay me back.
There's a really important reason why we have to do that. And that is because the truth is, if somebody personally hurts you, isn't it true that there's no way they really can pay you back? The only way they could make it up to you is to somehow go back in time and not do that. And they can't do that. And so what happens is often, and this is what Jesus was talking about when he talks to us about forgiveness, is that there's some of us hold on to it as though even though they can't pay me back, I expect them to pay me back. We might not say that logically, but in our heart, there's the expectation that somehow they will make it up to us when it's impossible to know exactly how to make it up to that person. And that's what God is saying. At that point, you have to clear the accounts with that person. It doesn't mean you have to risk again with them, but you have to say, they are at a zero balance with me. They don't have to pay me back for this.
Yeah, well, the other misconception that our culture has is the idea that if you forgive someone, that you have to restore or make the relationship back the way it was before they harmed you. And that's not how it works.
Yeah, in Matthew 18, there's a story that I think is really, it's something that intimidates me when I read it, and it's called the parable of the unforgiving debtor. And the parable is this: there's this person who is in amazing debt, immense debt, more than they could ever pay. And they get called in to the person that they owe to settle up accounts. And the person says, I can't pay you right now, but please show me mercy. I will find a way to pay off the entire debt. But we know from the context of the story, there's no way he can do that, but he's just stalling for time. And it says that the person he owed had compassion on him and said, I'm willing to forgive you the debt. But then the scripture says this guy who is just desperate to be forgiven goes out onto the street, finds somebody who owes him just a little bit and demands payment. And when the guy can't pay him, he orders to have him sent off to jail. And the Bible says the original person who made the loan puts him back on the hook, right? I mean, it's actually a very strongly worded story. And so I think we should pay attention to that. We need to forgive as God has forgiven us. But notice this: the issue is not that the person refused to loan more money. The issue is that he refused to write off the current debt. See, the thing about it is, God wants me to have a current account, whether it's with my spouse or with whoever it is that I'm talking to. It's not that God is going to say, you're in trouble because you don't immediately restore them. That might not be a wise choice. But what God is saying is, you do need to clear the account. You do need to make it a zero balance. And that's the important part.
Yeah, forgiveness is something we do because God commands us to do it, but restoration is something that we do when it's wise. Let me say that one more time, because I think that's important. Forgiveness is something that we need to do because God commands us to do it, but restoration is only something that we do if it's a wise thing to do, and when there's reason to believe that it's safe to risk again. When we follow God's example by giving daily mercy, that automatically means that we give daily forgiveness mixed with kindness and compassion. It means that we don't expect the other person to do the impossible. If Jonathan's wronged me, it means I don't expect him to be able to go back and fix it, make it right. I don't expect him to pay for his mistakes. I just have to try to see him the way that God sees him.
Okay, so let's talk about what if you're at a stage in your relationship where you're like, okay, Jonathan, big picture time. What does it look like if we are moving toward a fresh start in our relationship with something that you can think of? We don't know what your situation is, but when you think of the situation in your marriage, there's different things that could be at different levels. We'll talk about that in just a second. You're thinking about big picture, what does the path to a fresh start look like? The second big idea we want to share with you has to do with that, and that is that you have to be intentional about how you heal. If something has gone wrong in the relationship and there's pain in the relationship, you have to be intentional about healing.
Yeah, just like we have to heal from an injury before we can get back to our regular activities, we have to make room for healing when there's a problem in our marriage. If you don't, it's not gonna work. And guess what? Not all healing is the same, right? You have an example for this.
Yeah, I like to break it down. And actually, this is something I used to use when I was counseling, because I was trying to kind of formulate in my head, what kind of an issue are we dealing with? And so I like to break it down into three categories: scratches, injuries, and deep wounds. right? So I like to illustrate that with a Band-Aid. I think we have a graphic on the screen behind me. I like to illustrate that with a Band-Aid, with crutches, and with an ICU bed, because I've worked with couples that were dealing with these different things, right? So not everything that we go through in marriage is at the same level of intensity, and your healing path has a lot to do with whether you're facing a Band-Aid situation, a crutches situation, or a life support situation.
Yeah, I mean, the scratches, those things happen in marriage. They don't really injure us. They just kind of annoy us like the socks on the floor. They create irritation. I mean, you guys know
She's
what we're
having her own
talking
seminar
about.
up here.
I mean, it's that annoying habit that your partner has. I'm sure I have some. You just are nicer than me and don't tell me about them, and don't tell them in front of all the people that are here. But we have talked about the socks before. I mean, they're still happening. So let's be honest. It's not causing an injury. It's just a scratch. You just need a Band-Aid. You just need to overlook it sometimes, right?
Yeah, well, and in all fairness, one of the first things that I had to work with a lot of couples that I worked with is understanding the difference between annoyance or being bothered and being injured.
Yeah.
Because actually, a lot of times we will overshoot and something bothers us, but we will treat it as though it has injured us. And we will go to that much deeper place. And actually, it is one of the reasons, not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons people would come into my office and say, we have huge fights over small things. Well, actually, one of the reasons they were having huge fights over small things is instead of being able to contextualize something that is bothering me as what we're calling a scratch, it's annoying, it's bothersome, it's a Band-Aid thing, and turning it into an injury, which seems like it's a much deeper, more challenging thing.
Yeah. So we'd have the scratches, okay? Then we have the challenges in relationships that are more serious. Sometimes your spouse may do something that actually does injure you and wound you. Now, I don't mean physically. We're not talking about physically injured.
While we're
that's
using
different.
these physical metaphors, just so you know,
We're not talking
if
about
your spouse
body.
does something to you that causes you to need crutches, a Band-Aid, or something else, that's a whole other thing.
Yes,
right?
That's
a whole conversation for a different day.
Anyways, but if they actually wound you emotionally, something that causes pain, but it's not necessarily putting your relationship in jeopardy, it's going to eventually heal. But right now, you're on crutches, okay?
Yeah, and a good example of that would be, like, we've worked with people where somebody made a financial choice, and I don't mean like taking out accounts without letting them, but I'm saying like they would go out and buy something, and bought a TV or something and didn't tell their spouse, and that was really bothersome to their spouse. They're like, I need to be in on the big picture ideas, and we're struggling financially, and it was not something that was just gonna go away the next day. It's an injury. It's something that we're gonna have to deal with. And by the way, fellas in the room, I will tell you, there's some research that shows that for guys, it's a little different than ladies, how we evaluate the relationship. For ladies, there's a little bit more of an ongoing, they're kind of tallying how the relationship is going over a span of time. Guys are a little different. You ask us how the relationship's going, and we're like, if it's going good right now, it's the greatest, And if it's going bad, it's the worst, it's the worst, it's the worst, right? And so one of the things that can be challenging is it can be like, I'm over it, I'm fine. Like, I'm not feeling bad about it anymore. That was last night at 10 o'clock. It is a new day. Like, we should both be feeling fine about it, right? But it's important to recognize sometimes it is an injury. Sometimes there's actually harm that's been caused. It's not harm that puts the relationship in jeopardy. That's why we're saying it's kind of the middle one. But it's not going to go away overnight. There's going to have to be some healing that happens from that.
Yeah. And lastly, we work with couples where there have been deep wounds. Their marriage is in critical condition. They're in the ICU. And in those instances, it's not even clear if the marriage can survive or should survive. The relationship, in a sense, is basically
on life
support.
support. Yeah, and we work with a lot of couples like that. Infidelity is a common reason that a couple will come into our office on life support and relationship-wise. And yeah, that's a really tough place to be. And actually, one of the interesting things that we've watched is as a spouse who's done something like that, cheated on their spouse, who almost demands that their spouse jump up out of the ICU bed and be okay, even though what they've done put them there, right? And so we have to recognize that healing takes different forms in these different situations.
Absolutely. Well, the good news is tonight that we have some ideas, some thoughts for you guys that will help you no matter what category you're in. So let's get started with that quickly. The first one is to be reasonable about healing.
Yeah, and that's the case in all of these. So what I mean by that is you need to give yourself enough time to heal, but also you need to not overestimate how much time you need to heal. Here's what I mean by that. Like when I was working at Firestone when I was in the automotive industry back in Oklahoma years and years ago, managing a service department there, and one of my technicians stubbed his toe. didn't sprain his toe, didn't break his toe. This didn't happen at Firestone, this happened at home. He stubbed his toe and was unable to work for a week because of the stubbed toe. And I gotta be honest with you.
Maybe he just told you it was a stubbed toe.
I have
you
no
went
idea.
on vacation.
I'm a trusting guy. So but even at that, we all kind of stood around and looked at that and went, really? Seriously? But we've worked with people in marriage coaching where it's like, I gotta sit out a week because I have a stubbed toe, right? So I have to be reasonable about that. But on the other hand, we've seen people who wanna pressure themselves or pressure their spouse to get well when there really needs to be more time.
Yeah, I mean, like when you had brain surgery last year, like a year ago, 2 days. It was like a 6-week healing time was like the average. And man, he wanted to be up. 2 weeks, he was like, I can get up, I can do this. And I'm like, no, get back down. Like, you're not ready yet. And that's where some couples are. Some couples, or if I had demanded, hey, it's been 2 weeks, I need you to get up and take out the trash. I don't care if you had brain surgery 2 weeks ago, you need to take out the trash for me.
Right.
We have couples that kind of almost demand those types of things when they've been the aggressor and the offending party, and that's not cool.
And the reason why it's easy to kind of laugh at that, of like wanting to get up after surgery right away and just be taking on all those things, is because that's physical, it's very obvious. But what we're talking about is emotional, it's less obvious, but it's still that ridiculous for us to just assume that we can just flip a switch and heal, because it doesn't work that way. So it's important to be reasonable. So it's important to say, I need to give myself and my partner enough time to actually get better. But on the other hand, we've had couples come into our office that are literally clothed figuratively in Band-Aids.
That was literally clothed in Band-Aids.
Not literally. Okay.
You said that. You
I know.
clothed in Band-Aids
I'm correcting myself.
Like,
not
whoa.
literally. Figuratively.
Figuratively
Clothed in Band-Aids. That should have been ripped off forever ago. Right? It should have been something that was a Band-Aid, I healed from it, and I moved on. And yet those Band-Aids almost become like a garment of victimhood. Look at how I've been hurt over the years. And so that's the other part of being reasonable, is saying sometimes we have to say, all right, the Band-Aid's done. I don't need this anymore because I really am healed from this.
Yeah, and just like what I was talking about, the surgery thing, on the other hand, you have plenty of people who say, just get past it. You're fine. Like, I know I hurt you, but you should be over it right now. And that relationship, if it's happening like that, it may not even be able to survive. So it's important to be realistic about the injuries in your relationship and be patient with your recovery. It's also important to not leave those Band-Aids on longer than necessary. Sometimes love just needs to cover a multitude of sins.
Number 2, when something doesn't heal on its own, it's time to see someone. So sometimes there are things where we get stuck in the process of healing. We're just not making progress, and yet it's still there, and we're still dealing with that pain. And that's what we talked about at the beginning of this talk, that in 2006, we saw a counselor who was finally able to give us some help figuring out what healing was going to look like in our relationship. And sometimes you need that third party.
Yeah, and whether that's a therapist or a pastor or a trusted mentor, it's absolutely going to be God. You absolutely need to focus on him and see what he needs for your relationship, but you have to reach out. Number 3, injury is an indication that things need to change.
I teach graduate psychology, but mostly in the psychology department, I teach master's and doctoral level statistics, advanced statistics, and research methods. And so I teach a lot of experimental psychology research. And one of the things I teach students is it's not as complicated as it sounds. What we do is we figure out a way to approach something, we approach it that way, then we observe what happens, and we learn from it. And we make changes as we need to. And actually, if you think about it, marriage, is a series of experiments. It's a series of daily experiments. We try to approach it a certain way, then we need to watch what happens, and we need to learn from it and make adjustments as necessary. It's those last 2 parts that a lot of us forget. We do approach things a certain way, and we are observing the result, but we're not learning anything from it, and we're not making adjustments, right? And that's an important part.
It is, because it's cliche, we say, but you've heard it said so many times before, whether it's science or in life, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? If the result is injury, the game plan needs to involve change. And fourthly, a fresh start takes 2. It takes both of you.
Yeah, I remember when Wendy and I were actually starting to do well, I was talking to my dad on the phone, and he said, Jonathan, it's amazing. In my ministry of all these years, he said, I've noticed that if 2 people are willing to really put their full weight into healing, it's amazing what they can accomplish. He's like, there's almost no limits on that. And so, but it does take two people. We've seen it when one person tries to go it alone, and you really need, and that can happen for a season, but healing is something that takes the involvement of both people.
It absolutely does. And, here's an important thing that we've learned. You cannot pressure or coach or manipulate or guilt your spouse into a fresh start. You can absolutely pray for their heart to get to that place, but you can't do any of those things. Both of you have to be ready for it, and both of you have to want it, and both of you have to work at it. When that does happen, man, it is one of the most beautiful things you will ever experience and you will ever see. It happened to us, and in the video that you're getting ready to watch, it happened for this couple.
And as you watch this video, I would encourage you to think about what is the fresh start that you're needing in your relationship, and what are you willing to put into seeing that fresh start happen for the two of you?
Yeah, so take a look at this.
I'm Jimmy Chamberlain. This is Sandy Chamberlain, and we were originally from Kansas City.
We got married February 26th, 2005. As far as our marriage, I feel like we had a really good marriage. Outside of we were missing the most important thing. In 2010, I lost my dad to cancer. He actually passed away right in front of me, and it was very traumatizing. I looked to God, and then as time went on, I ran to anything and everything that I could to try to fill that void and to get away from the pain. Jimmy was there and did everything he could to help me, but I just didn't make the right decision. So after some time, we started having some problems. Then I filed for divorce, I believe in 2013, and a hard time.
We've been through low, been through sunshine, been through snow. All the colors of the weather. Been through high, every corner of the sky. But still we're holding on together.
We stayed friends, and we always still did things together.
Yeah, we still had holidays together. I think every Christmas we spent together. Jimmy was amazing. So through all of that, he stood by me. And that's when I started getting more of a grasp of God's love for me, because I thought if a human can love me like this, then how great God's love must be for me. Because Jimmy loved me when I wasn't lovable.
You got all my love, whether it rains or pours, I'm all yours. You've got all my love, whether it rains, it remains. You've got all
I will never forget the day that I asked Jimmy, "Why are you standing by me?" And he said, "I said for better or for worse." And I meant what I said. And that stuck with me, and I'll never forget it, because it was worse, for sure. I was visiting my brother in Wichita, and he invited me to attend New Spring with him and his family, and I did. I will never forget the love that I felt just walking into the church. I went back to Kansas City and told Jimmy that I was moving to Wichita, Kansas. And
I didn't believe her.
He did not believe me. One Sunday, he brought down our daughter that was a junior at the time. On Sunday morning, then we got up and we went to church, and great service. Service was over. I left to run to the restroom real quick. And when I came out of the restroom, I looked over and there stood my husband with the blue box. And I knew then when I saw that God was gonna put our marriage back together.
You've got all my love, whether it rains or pours, I'm all yours. You've got all my love, whether it rains, it remains. You've got all my love.
I was so overwhelmed and so emotional that when I saw it, I looked down and I looked up at him and I turned around and like walked out of the church. He thought I was mad and I was just bawling. God brought us back together. I just took a look at the blue box and knew that if he had God in his heart 100%, he would be unstoppable. I mean, I don't even know how to put it in words.
I mean, I went home and put my house up for sale. It's just a spur of the moment thing. It's just, I went home, packed everything, and came to Wichita. If you don't put him first, it ain't gonna work. We tried. He was there before. You know, we'd go to church, but he wasn't priority.
My hope is that our example will help our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids see the change in us and help them to see that, you know, what things can be without God and how different things can be with him. Because again, without God, we would not be sitting here. Our family would not be back together.
Great story. Let me say a word of prayer for us quickly, and then the band will play us out. Father, as we've talked about something that is at ground zero of what you want a healthy marriage to be, and also what you are to us, that extension of grace and mercy on a daily basis, love in the face of imperfection. I pray, Father, that we would search our hearts and think about what are the things that we need a fresh start in our marriage. Where are those points where we need to be able to turn a page and begin fresh? And Father, I pray you would motivate us to work, to do the work, to heal, and to move forward. And that you would soften hearts, Father, where there is hardness in our heart that says, I don't want to do this. Father, I pray you would soften that and allow us to move forward. And Father, we pray for many, 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 many more success stories like what we just heard, where we can say through God's power and through his will, we've made a turn, and it's a turn for the better, and our story will be one that inspires others for the rest of our life. We pray this in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for being at Married Life Live tonight.